President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No! No! I refuse! I'm sick of it!
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them.
If you came up with the picture of an annoying, insufferable white woman, it would be Meghan Markle, even though she's not white.
I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
From SNL to South Park, the punchlines came faster than Meghan Markle's PR team could spin them. And the worst part? None of it was exaggerated. None of it needed to be. The joke was already there, wrapped in privilege, contradiction, and a painfully curated brand of victimhood. All they had to do was say it out loud.
Earlier today, Suits actress Meghan Markle married some unemployed dude who still lives with his grandma.
Colin Jost didn't just crack a joke, he cracked the image. In under 10 seconds, he collapsed the Sussex fairy tale into a late-night one-liner. A trade deal gone bad, royalty exchanged for baggage.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
And then came the Elon Musk line, the one that twisted the knife.
Elon built electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why isn't he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits.
It was brutal because it wasn't wrong. This wasn't the power couple they sold us. It was a career downgrade disguised as a revolution. And SNL had receipts. They'd been mocking this story for years.
It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
That joke stuck. It rebranded Prince Harry as the world's most overqualified couch surfer. And once that image landed, it never really left. Then came the Golden Globes. Joe Coy looked straight into a room full of actual actors, producers, and directors, people who earned their multi-million-dollar deals, and unloaded the punchline.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing.
It hit harder than any headline, because now the mockery wasn't coming from tabloids or anonymous Twitter accounts. It was coming from the inside. The industry they desperately wanted to be part of was publicly ejecting them. And over on The Daily Show, Trevor Noah made it personal.
This is what happens when you bring the first black woman into the royal family. She looked at Harry and she's like, you need to get a job.
Jimmy Kimmel didn't hold back. He questioned the core of their narrative, the escape from racism. He dragged genetics into it, compared Harry to Screech, suggested the royals should be hoping for Meghan's genes to win out.
Racism was a big part of their decision to leave, which you know things are bad at Buckingham Palace if they came to America to get away from racism. They should hope that the kid looks more like Meghan than Harry. No offense, but Harry kind of looks like the guy who played Screech, may he rest in peace.
The audience laughed hard, because once you lose the moral high ground, all that's left is the mockery. And for Harry and Meghan, the moral high ground was slipping fast. Even Stephen Colbert joined in, mocking their bizarre use of nicknames.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
M and H, repeated with a glazed performative sincerity. It wasn't cute, it wasn't charming, it was a PR hallucination. And audiences could feel it. Then there was Jimmy Fallon, poking fun at Meghan's Netflix cooking show.
Why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? They don't know why.
That's interesting. She takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag.
Another bag.
And that confuses people.
She wasn't actually cooking, just transferring food from one bag to another. A metaphor, really, for everything she'd built. Style over substance, always. Ricky Gervais didn't need to spell it out. He let the silence and the irony do the work.
Once at a gig, the back was Harry and William, Madonna and Paul McCartney. Not one of them paid.
The implication? These people live in another world. One where basic decency is optional and entitlement is a lifestyle. John Mulaney, meanwhile, got right to the point. It wasn't polite, it wasn't nuanced, but it didn't need to be. It was the kind of insult you only throw when the public has stopped caring.
You dumb ginger. You leave your title because you don't like your 94-year-old grandma? That's the definition of something you wait out.
And then came Tim Dillon, who didn't just mock Meghan, he dissected her.
If you came up with the picture of an annoying, insufferable white woman, it would be Meghan Markle, even though she's not white. You'd be stunned at how dumb she was. Not because she's black, because she's an actress who was on the show Suits.
His words, not ours. But the point was clear. Meghan's brand had stopped being about identity and started being about behavior. She wasn't disliked for her race. She was disliked for her attitude, for her arrogance, for her belief that we needed her.
She thinks we're all animals and that she's helping us.
Yeah.
With jam and honey.
And then came the 1-2 punch. Chris Rock, a comedian whose words matter.
I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. They're the original racists. They wanted to know how brown the baby was going to be.
Concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
That's not racist. Even black people want to know how brown the baby going to be.
It landed like a sledgehammer. Because if Chris Rock wasn't buying Meghan's outrage, who else would? And then came Simon Brodkin, the British comic who nailed what millions were thinking. He joked that before the Netflix doc, he wasn't even a hater. But after hearing their side of the story, he started hating them. That was the point. Their own explanation didn't soften public opinion. It made everything worse.
Before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. But now I've actually heard their side of the story, I f***ing hate them. Then they start calling each other H&M, and I just thought, oh, do f*** off. Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things after 6 episodes. I wanted to attack them.
The self-important nicknames, the dramatic retelling of basic royal traditions, Harry crying about how hard it was to explain curtsying to his American girlfriend, as if saying she's the Queen of England wasn't enough.
Harry says, how do you explain to someone who you've just started dating that they have to curtsy to your own grandmother?
How do you explain that you bow to your grandmother and that you will need to curtsy? Especially to an American. Like, that's weird.
And I'm thinking, maybe just tell her that your grandmother is the f***ing queen.
But if there was one moment, one definitive cultural takedown, it was South Park. They didn't just parody Harry's book. They annihilated the entire premise. A man who hates journalists writing a tell-all memoir. A couple screaming for privacy from the window of a private jet. The joke wrote itself.
You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Win. Because your family like stupid, and then so are like journalists? So you hate journalists. That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist.
The satire was cruel, but it was accurate, because at some point, even their defenders had to admit the contradictions were impossible to ignore.
We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard. Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines?
They wanted attention without scrutiny, fame without criticism, influence without responsibility. And South Park called it out louder, cruder, and more honestly than anyone else.
What are you suggesting? Some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife actually doesn't want her privacy. My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy. We are leaving. We'll go find some quiet place where we can be normal people. Come on, wife. We want privacy.
And then came the moment. The one you didn't need a laugh track for. The one that wasn't funny, just awkward. Painfully, excruciatingly awkward.
That's the part. That's the part we're editing out of this interview. Boy, right there. All right.
Very similar to this experience.
Unlike what?
That's right. You carry on. You were doing great.
No, you're doing great.
This wasn't a bad line. It was a bad moment, a human one.
He said, let us have an end to this debate about what makes a good man and be one.
There you go.
You can use that.
Good knowledge.
You can use that.
Thank you.
The mask cracked, and what was underneath wasn't malicious, just clueless. And in that cluelessness, everything made sense. The overcompensation, the defensiveness, the endless PR spins, they weren't villains. They were just painfully unself-aware.
Sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
Put it with the rest of them.
Time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post for Del Taco.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
So when comedians turned their cameras off, the cartoons picked up the baton. Family Guy, South Park, SNL, they didn't destroy Meghan and Harry. They just held up a mirror. Because in the end, this wasn't about bullying or racism or betrayal. It was about a public that got tired of being played.